Oh my gosh. Okay. Hello, peeps. Good evening. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good night. Wherever you're listening to me from, I bring you greetings. So, happy Thursday. And my name is Ozie Ejiofo Ijele. The level of high-handedness that people showcase, sometimes they do not remember that where your calmness ends is where another person's calmness begins. And where your madness ends is where another person's madness begins. Let me give you a story. I went yesterday to Abani Road to lock up my hair. And you know Abani Road, Mayor Stroke, Amechi Junction, if you know Enugu very well. It's a very busy area. So sometimes the parking space is hard. So I don't know how people who go to the market, Mayor Market, go about their parking space. I don't know if they park some other places, then trek to the market, something like that. But I don't live there, so I really do not know how it works for them. I came there, scouted out for where to park, and saw a small space in front of a photo studio. Then I parked. I pulled over and parked. On a second thought, I said, this is actually a frontage of somebody's shop. In my head, I know I am very faulty. I'm not trying to say I am not, but that was the least I could do at that point, because I don't know really where any parking space is at that point. Did they no noise? So I parked. Then, when I entered the salon, finished my hair, and then came out, I met a young guy just at the photo studio opposite where I went to make my hair. And the young boy is between maybe 18 and 20, yeah, or 18 and 22. So the boy now said to me, Auntie, Oginwa park the motor. Auntie, are you the one who parked this vehicle? I said, yes. He said, you were poor since. Ogai na chokwo park your motor since, so that my boss has been looking for who parked this vehicle since. Well, before I got to Abani Road, the VIO people pulled me over. I didn't know my papers had already expired, so they called my attention to it. I asked them, how many months grace do I have? I don't think there was any months grace that I have, but maybe I do have, and they just want me to renew. So I accepted the fault, and they solicited I should renew. I got their number, and they proceeded with the renewal. Later in the evening, I couldn't make transfers. Later in the evening, I made transfer, and then they proceeded with the renewal. So, but before I left the VIO, we ended well. It didn't degenerate to anything. Now, when I finished begging the young boy after my hair now, later in the evening, he now said, then the young man did not tell me that his boss had already loosed up my plate number. Please take people for granted. That the boss, who is angry, had already loosed my plate number. So after soliciting with the boy, I was already scared that when the boss comes out and still meets me there, you know, he will be really agitated and shout on me. Quickly entered the vehicle and left. I didn't even see the small paper that was kept on my windscreen and held with the wiper. So, Gulf area in GRA, then realized that there was a small paper on my windscreen. I picked up the paper, and it read, "Why would you park here for more than an hour?" I said, this must be that place that I parked. It must be from that place that I parked. Oh, I didn't see this. So when I finished reading it, I now felt some level of guilt, I didn't block their way entirely, but I parked in front of that shop. I didn't know that my plate number had already been taken by them. So I made way, headed home, got to... Then the police stopped me and said, the first police said, "Madam, where your plate number? Why this car no carry plate number?" I didn't understand what he meant, but at first. Then the next statement from the second, "Pull over, park well, park well." I said, "Kai, I have an emergency," because really I had an emergency. One of the twins, my sisters, one of them is sick, and I needed to come home, take her to the hospital. In fact, I haven't rested from yesterday till today because I slept in the hospital with one of the twin, and we just returned. So I pulled over, I came down the vehicle. I then looked at the front bumper, and my plate number wasn't there. I started thinking, where would it have been? Who took it? I quickly called the VIO guy. I said to him, "Sir, your boys took my plate number. I don't know if you know about it." The guy said, "Your plate number? But it's through you. It was through your plate number that we searched for your vehicle license and discovered it had expired." Then I just called the girl that made my hair. I said, "Ada, I don't know what you're going to think, but I'm thinking that those people I parked my car in front of their office may have taken away my plate number, because the inscription I saw that they put on my dashboard, my windscreen, reads that I So it read that I parked for more than an hour, and I didn't notice it early until I got to almost Gulf. So she said, "Oh, why would he do that? Tomorrow I'll go and meet him." So now I came back home. I solicited with the SAS people. In fact, I made all the calls in front of them. I made the first call to the VIO. I made the second call to Ada. Then she said she was going to go to the shop tomorrow to go and solicit with them. So the police people now realized that really, I didn't know that my plate number was missing. So the police took offense. They picked offense and said, "Why will somebody take somebody's plate number without even letting the person know? And what if I do not live here and maybe I am traveling to somewhere? How would I even get this plate number back?" Now, police sometimes, they were extremely reasonable. They said to me, "Tomorrow, just go there, solicit with them so that you can get the plate number back. But if they refuse, please step into a police station and make a report. They will give you an officer to go and recover your plate number, because it's even very wrong to lose someone's plate number. The least I know," the policeman is saying, "the least I know you're going to be able to do, even though it is still wrong, especially if it's at night, is trying to less the person's tire, and it's even wrong. But losing a plate number, it's also not okay, because you just took the laws into your hands as a normal person. Even though the person is wrong, you then are also wrong. My people. And that's how this morning, immediately Jide's school bus came to pick him by 6:30. I solicited with my nephew. I said, you know what? Take this car, do some way bill for me to Port Harcourt, and then head to that Albany Road between Mayo and Amechi. Kenneth Road opposite. You would see a photo studio there. Go there, solicit with them, beg them, tell them that you're sorry, that your sister is the person who parked a car in front of their store yesterday, and that she's really sorry, but you've come to retrieve the plate number. So he went there, and it wasn't something that he would want to exchange words for, because the person whom he met there wasn't so young. So he now pleaded with the man that this vehicle actually parked here yesterday, and please, if he's the one who took away the plate number, that they are sorry, he's sorry, but he has come to please beg to collect it back. The man spoke and said, until the person who parked the car, that lady who parked the car, that until she comes and begs before he will release the plate number. Emeka called me back and told me what the person said. I just came in from the hospital, extremely tired, just came to boil water, dish some meals for the Ejima in the hospital. Then it's only one that is sick though, but I asked one to come take over while I come home and do some things and go back to the hospital. So I started imagining leaving my area down to Albany Road. It was a lot for me that morning. I said, you know what, Emeka, solicit with the girl who made my hair. Let her be me. Maybe the man really wants to beat me. Let her be me. She should tell the man that she's the person who drove the car. Because in all honesty, I need to see the doctor who is handling Chioma to know what's wrong with her stomach, and then I can shuttle between Albany Road and Transekulu, where the hospital is. That's like traveling. So Emeka said okay, and then I called on Ada, solicited with Ada to please be the one who drove the car. Go there, beg the man, accept to be me who drove the car, solicit for the plate number, but please, if it degenerates to hitting you, go out of that place, enter the police station near that photo studio, make an entry, and then they will give you a policeman who will come to the place to retrieve that particular plate number. So she agreed. So immediately the two went there back again. Ada knelt down before the man and started begging him and soliciting with him to retrieve that plate number. Hey, I heard the man spark to the brim and said a lot of things. Even when Emeka tried to put the phone on speaker so that at least I can speak to the man and apologize, he told Emeka that he is very stupid and senseless, that he's not going to touch the phone until the person who drove the car and parked the car there comes by herself. So on seeing the girl, I don't know what he was thinking. Maybe he was thinking if the person who drove the car comes, that the person will come and pick up a fight or something. Ada came there, knelt down before the man, started begging him. He was shouting that he had already made videos and snapped pictures and was going to make trouble with the person in case the person wishes to make trouble. And that how will the person come and park? And after seeing the small paper on the windscreen, the person just drove off. You had already taken the person's plate number, before even seeking for the person coming to you to beg or say sorry, or identifying with you without the person even knowing that their plate number had already been taken away. So on seeing Ada kneeling down for a couple of minutes and soliciting with him, he now finished shouting and scolding and making a hell of noise and being full of himself, according to them. And finally, went inside, brought out the plate number with the 2 knots, handed it over to Ada. Ada in turn left with Emeka, and then Emeka drove back home, tightened the stuff, and drove back home and told me everything that has happened. You see, the reason I gave this analysis is maybe I'm so gentle as well that when I get there, I will start begging that man the same way Ada begged to be forgived or to be forgiven. Maybe also I may not be so patient enough to be able to kneel down before the man, considering how stressed my head was at the time. I was already saturated, and any little thing could trigger me that I would need to really lose some temper, and it will degenerate into something that is really nasty. The reason I told this story is, first, I really appreciate Ada for coming in and accepting to be me and making sure that there was a peaceful resolution in trying to collect back that particular plate number, considering where I was coming from to come and make her in her place. And, you know, I think she recalled that I lost my 2 phones in the course of coming to the place I used to go before to meet her. I lost my 2 phones there at gunpoint. And then this time around, I'm looking for her in her personal shop now that she owns the shop. And some shit again is happening again. So I think she thought about it and really needed to get that plate number given back to me as quickly as possible. Guys, I need to please beg us. Everybody has problems. Different kinds of problems. They couple ourselves, they really respect ourselves. They pretend like say everything they're all right. But everything really is not all right. I appreciate the man for giving back that plate number. But I do not appreciate the man for taking the plate number in the first place. I mean, when we begin quarrel where you go take loose person plate number, even the local government workers hardly do that. Even when you break the law. Even the MOT will not do that. They will only clamp on your tire so you do not move, and then you respect yourself. They enter, and then you go with them. But let's just accept that he was really angry that someone parked in his shop. All he would have done is, I don't know if he did the right thing, but I don't see it like he did the right thing. I don't know if he really did the right thing. Okay, if it wasn't my route heading home, and maybe the police called SAS had already known me on that road. If it were a guy that was driving that car yesterday, first, my papers had already expired and is at the verge of being renewed. And I had fracas with the VIO who are renewing it. Thank God I collected their numbers for reference 6, and the reference really helped because I placed a call across. And the police now accepted that really I didn't know that the plate number was actually taken away. For the police to be really angry, why will this person that you parked in front of their store lose your plate number as waiting? Because you parked in front of their store. Well, people should just kindly not sometimes take laws into their hands? The reason is where your madness ends may just be where another person's own begins. Especially that morning when I had sent somebody to go and solicit on my behalf and beg for the plate number to be given back, and he refused. Then I sent, peradventure, I sent the second person, and she came to beg, and the plate number wasn't given. Maybe I may have to go by myself, and maybe still the plate number may not be given because some man somehow has carried a problem that happened a previous day into a new day and is trying maybe to carry the stress of himself and maybe the one the wife added for him in his head and then pour it on someone else to carry for them. It may not work out well. It may never had ended so palatable. So that the reason I gave this analogy is sometimes you see where they would say, maybe he's richer and maybe he's wealthier. But that statement of a rich man dealing with a poor man, sometimes we do not ask why a rich man is dealing with the poor man. Because the poor man may be so myopic to not realize that he is dealing with somebody who is a little more exposed than him, or wealthier than him, or wiser than him, or richer than him, or stronger than him, or more connected than him. That's why we will make such statements that a rich man is actually dealing with a poor man. Because first, he doesn't know the owner of the car. Secondly, a couple of people have begged you for the release of the license, the plate number. And you've blatantly refused to release the plate number because the person, you think the person parked in front of your store. Like somebody hurt you and the person is so faulty and guilty, and you know the person didn't do well. Then in the course of your revenge, you ended up committing blunder. And the Igbo people will ask you, Ondapuoye edaya. When someone who sees you and respects you as a big bro or big sis asks you this question, so if I fail, you too would have to fail. You would know that you've made a total mockery of yourself. Some elderly people make a total mess of their age and make children talk to them in the most undesirable way. Some big people have made kids talk to them in the most disgusting way. You can imagine if this, I said this night, degenerated into one making statements in a police station. Of course, a police will come for an arrest. Yes, the parked car may be guilty as charged, but you taking the plate number of the car without telling the person who owns the car, what if the person doesn't live in Enugu? Did he think about it? It could be that the person doesn't live here and maybe a traveler who just ran in, breezed in and breezed out. What would have happened? Maybe the person would need to come back and start soliciting and start doing, or send someone to come start soliciting and start doing way deal of a plate number because you parked somewhere, you know. So I'm also guilty for parking wrongly, maybe in his premises, and I accept that I did something wrong. I didn't block the entire place, believe me, but because maybe I didn't see a signage saying no parking or a tire blocking the place to show me that I can't park there. Then I took the decision to park there, knowing I was wrong. I didn't see that paper early. And even when I saw the paper, there was no number on the paper, in all honesty, to even call. Then repeating that visit through a couple of people who did repeat to solicit for the release of that particular plate number. And the man was forming Don Jazzy and probably Galadima for someone highly temperamental that may not be able to tolerate that. I don't know if people understand what I'm saying. So that people are so calm and will kneel down to beg you to forgive an ill treatment or an ill behavior. Please, find somewhere. Don't allow people to exhaust their patience. Amaramu, if I'm making sense, don't allow people to exhaust their patience. Because if I had gone there with the stress that was so saturated in my head, coming from the VIO stress to the parking lot stress, down to the SAS stress, down to my picking the twins and taking them to the hospital, down to sleeping in the hospital, down to coming home to come and cook and take back to the hospital, and then down to going to Albany Road to go and take my plate number. You see, no be only that man gets busy. No be only that man decrease. He own Phoebe and Rocco, my own na fire. You understand? I may just accept that I hurt him, but I'm sure that he at least went too far. He at least went too far. And having begged for the release of the plate number, and he started insulting and raising his high horses and doing a it would have created a serious pandemonium if the real me was there. You know, not everybody is a gentleman. He own now. I feel no remember saying an elder. I feel just remember saying maybe he don't born picking. I will just look for the number of his children and maybe probably solicit for somebody to lure me to his children, then report to the children, your father is not doing fine. Please, I want to respect him very well. Can you please call him to order? I go that far. I go that far. People are so saturated. They are so saturated that they go overboard. You know, let people not carry their stress on someone. Then also, government should please, I don't know how you're going to do it, but I think Albany Road needs a parking lot, especially in the market area. I think Albany Road needs a parking lot, at least where people can pay. Just like New Market, just like Old Park. I think that place needs a parking lot. It will save a lot of stress so that people don't go and park in front of other people's shops, you know, and block their businesses or block their jobs. You understand? So I also solicit to the government to please do the needful in creating a park. I know it will affect some properties, but it's doable. It's doable, really. It's doable. Because really, I didn't like the fact that he got so angry that I parked in front of that place. But also, if there was a little inscription saying do not park, or a little, that small sign, or put a tire, you would see that you're not supposed to park there. Obviously, if you go to remove the tire and go in, a man or gonna choke. So please, guys, if you also have an outlet where you do not want people to park, put something. Especially if you have a good space. People must park. Just know. People must park. But if you don't want people to park, put a tire or 2 or 3. Just put a something. Put a signage, don't park, no parking. Put something. It will make people just know that they are not supposed to park here and go some other places to park. But someone who sees a space may just put in and park if they know really that they are not going to waste time. So let's also be able to expect anything at any time. The same way where you they mad, you get people where they madder. The same way where you they calm, you get people where they calmer. It's like that. So if this man eventually sees this video, I want to say I apologize again for parking in front of your shop. One day, if I come to Abani Road, I will stop by and still let you know that the person who was soliciting on my behalf is not the person. It's me that is the real person, and I really tender an apology. But you need to also draw a line to dealing with people, because I hear it's not actually the first time you're doing that to several people. I hear you've been doing this to a couple of people, and then because you're extremely proud and pompous, then you think you need to shove it down anybody's throat for those who want trouble. There are people that you cannot even make trouble with, no matter. Cameraman, governor. Before you call the governor, before governor, so you need to really, really stop. Draw a line with taking decisions that are drastic, especially that are not in line with best practices. Please, be guarded, be guided. Be guarded and be guided. Odemba. Thank you very much, guys. Please follow my page at Ijele Solid. Christiano Oziome on YouTube. At Ijele Solid on all the social media platforms. Follow me and I'll be grateful. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you, and have a good night rest. I am so stressed, but thank God we're back from the hospital and one of the Ejima is getting all right. I really appreciate. Thanks for listening. Ozie Ejiofor is my name. I don't know if it's Jemono. I don't know if 4 years I go in another. Have a good night rest and peace out.